TMI. Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerfherder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker.
Welcome to another 0.5 episode of TMI, where we go to a past episode, dust off the secondary feature, which often is a much more classic film than the main feature, and present it to you by itself. In this case, you're getting 2 for 1. We covered back in 2018 on episode 24, The Predator, along with Predator 1 and Predator 2. We're leaving The Predator by the wayside, but again, if you want to listen to the whole episode, go back to 24. But as for now, let's get to the chopper with Predator 1 and Predator 2.
You know what? There's one thing I want to point out, which is I've been listening to some podcasts, and they all go out of their way to introduce themselves each episode, and we really don't do that. So this is Jeff.
And this is Jim.
And this is Mike.
And there we go. We are TMI.
This week is a supersized episode. We're going all Predator.
Supersized.
So we're first reporting on Predator 1. We're going to move on to Predator 2. Most things cinematically should start with Predator, 1987's Predator. Well, Schwarzenegger was coming off of, at this point in his career, Terminator, of course. Well, Conan to start with, 82. And he moved into Terminator, which really put him into the big leagues of action heroes. Commando, which really cemented his status. What was the next movie that I actually named the quote from last week?
Red Dawn.
No, not Red Dawn. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
too.
no, not Red Dawn.
Heat. Red Heat. Red Heat, maybe he stepped a couple of rungs down on the action hero ladder with that one.
Is that Jim Belushi?
Yeah, it's Jim Belushi.
The
buddy flick with Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
But then, the following year, he made it back to the top with Predator. And I remember the trailer for this movie. I was all in. Arnold against a monster? Yes! This is like the epitome of an Arnold movie right here. And when I saw Predator in the theater, I was not disappointed. I think it's a great, great action film.
It's up there. It's up there with one of the best.
Probably my favorite Arnold movie of all time.
Ooh.
You might argue with that, you guys. You know, I know Total Recall was high. You gave it many popcorn buckets.
I did.
But I would say Predator is my favorite of the Arnold flicks.
I would agree. I enjoyed how it started out, and it was like sort of a young Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He wasn't just he enunciated and everything.
Yes,
do you think as a bodybuilder you should be smoking cigars though?
I think at that point you don't care. I find it interesting. Are we actually going to go through the plot, or are we just going to at this point, who hasn't seen this movie?
The setup of this is what makes it. And I think that once the first Predator movie is done, once you realize what the monster is, what drives it, it kind of takes away from any movies that come after it, because you don't have that suspense of wondering what the hell is going on. You know, what is this thing? The first viewing of Predator, I think, is the epitome. Viewings after that kind of fall a little bit below what your initial experience was, like with any movie of this.
Well, that's just it, right? But it still holds. I mean, you know, this movie holds up. And again, you're going in, and it's a pure out action army espionage flick, and then quickly becomes something else. So it's, I mean, every one of these characters is, I mean, they're not, you know, they're kind of cartoony. You care for them. And the neat thing, I think what works so well in this movie is that you see up front, like, just how tough and macho these guys are. You got Carl Weathers. I mean, his arms are just as big as Arnold's. Bill Duke, who's just this nutty guy. Jesse the Body Ventura, who I don't know if he's ever acted before or after this. But how funny that Arnold and Jesse both went on to be governors.
It's true. It's true. And I remember I was a big wrestling fan in the 80s, and this movie was promoted to death on the WWF wrestling shows.
Oh, really?
So it already had a built-in audience.
This was pre-Rock, so it was pre-Hulk Hogan. Really?
This was pre-Roddy Piper, like, being in the movie. So I think this was probably the first big breakout wrestler who made it into a Hollywood movie.
I will say I watched the director's commentary now, John McTiernan, who had not really done anything up. This was like one of his first major movies. And he talked specifically about the fact that he was blown away by how articulate and smart Jesse Ventura really was, because he plays such a dunderhead, muscle-bound wrestler.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, this movie really just... They're tough guys. You see them, and so when all of a sudden they're confronted with this creature, and they're genuinely, like, frightened. Oh, if they're afraid, I should be afraid.
Jeff, we were talking not too long ago about how watching these movies again for this podcast really puts them all in a different light, even if you've seen it a million times, because you're really looking for talking points and things like that. And I never really paid attention much to the plot of the opening plot of Predator, as to why these guys were there and what their mission was before the Predator kind of comes in and throws a wrench in the works. So I was really paying attention to this, and it's such a tenuous...
It's just an excuse.
It's just a reason to get them into the jungle. It's like they have to find 2 hostages. That's why they're going into the jungle. That's why they've been called out here. And what it turns out, they're actually 2 CIA operatives that have been taken hostage, and which doesn't matter at all, like to the scope of the rest of the movie, because as soon as they're just shot, immediately.
Yeah, you find out pretty quickly
as soon as they get to the little village there. So Arnold and his team just completely destroys this village where the hostages are being held. It's just like an A-team miasma of carnage.
It is absolutely A-team-esque in its carnage.
There's lots of grenades, lots of bodies in slow motion, coming off of a balcony. Yeah,
you watch it, and you think to yourself, if the hostages weren't already dead, then they're going to be
they
dead
definitely.
now.
Yeah, there's no right. Right, and you find out that Carl Weathers' character kind of pulled a fast one on. He knew that they were there for ulterior motives, and I guess supposedly he was supposed to be much more of a bad guy, like straight up bad guy. And they were worried that Arnold couldn't carry this movie on his own. So I guess McTiernan championed for Carl Weathers to come in and then kind of rework the script a bit to make him a much more redeemable character, so that you actually cared about him when he was dispatched. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, because his death is pretty poignant, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because he kind of redeems himself at the end when he's working with Mac, try to sneak up on the Predator, which goes woefully sideways, their whole scheme there. But
yeah, they're taken out in the mat. I mean, it really just... They are completely overmatched. That's good stuff. Yeah. I will give a shout out to Alan Silvestri's musical score, though. Because that really...
Great score, yes.
It's such a militaristic drum beat, lead up. Such a great... In every subsequent movie, they have echoed it, right? They've picked it up, they've carried it, but it really is one of the few scores that just makes the movie.
Yeah, it really fits this movie. It is perfect for this movie.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the fact that one of the characters, Hawkins, is Shane Black, the one who actually went on to direct The Predator. This movie, even I think all 3 of them that we're going to talk about today just so cement themselves in that late 80s, early 90s, just over the top. Yeah, the P word is just thrown about. The violence is just horrific. It's just, it borders on cartoon because it's just so grotesque. Yeah, it's, he was brought in specifically because he could write. So a lot of those jokes that he's throwing out there, he wrote himself. And you see that even in the second movie, Bill Paxton's character is just a complete and utter ripoff of Hawkins in his constant throwing out jokes. And they're always like these inappropriate, over-the-top, embarrassing.
In attempts to kind of fit the outline of the first Predator movie. So you got to have a Hawkins in there. But another strong point of this first Predator movie is even though it's an Arnold movie, it feels like it's an ensemble piece.
It is.
Even to the end with the credits, because everybody takes a bow, like during the credits.
That is, McTiernan actually felt that was so necessary because it ends on such a downer note that all these characters have been killed off that he wanted that roll call. Yeah, you're right. It's a nice little, and it's a nod to like those old kind of war westerns. But yeah, that roll call. And I guess they actually did. They brought in this guy and they put them through boot camp. So military boot camp. So when they're doing the silent, hand signals and all that stuff, that it actually they understood and mimicked, I guess, as close as humanly possible to what these guys' real counterparts would actually be doing.
Because that's the thing, is that each of these guys in this movie are on a level of badassery all their own. The Predator probably realizes this and says, okay, I'm going to take these guys out one at a time just to show them that I can. Because he got Jesse the body with old Painless.
Yeah. That was this giant Gatling gun, which I guess usually is mounted to the side of a helicopter.
Yes.
And again, listening to the commentary, they talked, I guess they really worked hard to make this thing as believable as possible, and they actually had to slow it down because it moves so fast that the camera can't pick it up.
Right.
So they actually had it rotate like a quarter speed. But a human can only carry about 5 seconds worth of ammo. And they said in a heartbeat, it'll bury you up to your ankles in army shells. But he's lugging that thing through the jungle, and they're just mowing down things left and right.
And right when they really open it up, when they think they see something, which is the predator, and then they just destroy that little swatch of jungle that's out there. And it turns out that they must have nicked him because you see his fluorescent green blood.
Do you know? So this was a cool little thing, which is they worked again long and hard on this. They wanted this blood to be orange, and they couldn't get it to work. Do you know what? This predator blood is basically just the insides of a glow stick with KY jelly. So try and get that out of your head.
That is what it looks like.
That's exactly what it was. That's pretty crazy.
And did you hear in the commentary the original actor they had playing the Predator?
Playing the Predator?
Playing the Predator.
No, I do know that at one point I think Patrick Swayze's name was brought up, and there was someone else that they had. But no, I don't know who was set to play the Predator.
And he was actually on set until they decided to go another way because he wasn't imposing enough. Jean-Claude Van Damme was in the Predator outfit initially.
But yeah, they had to bring in Stan Winston. I think he had like 3 weeks to kind of come up with this design. And
from what I understand, James Cameron had a little bit to do with the throwaway comment. He said, "I wish I would like to see a monster that has mandibles." And Winston
off and running. But this thing was like, so the guy who did play him was Kevin Peter Hall.
Yeah,
who we also know he played Harry and the Hendersons. Mm-hmm. He is no longer with us, but he has a cameo at the end. He's the helicopter pilot.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yep. He has a little cameo out of costume, but that thing was like 200 pounds, that suit. That's crazy to run around in the jungle. And they had him on bungee cords, everything to try and make him a little more nimble. And I guess they tried numerous. So the camouflage effect was always kind of in motion and no one really knew what to do with it. And they brought in this special effects guy. I think his name was Joel something, but he went on to design the bullet time for The Matrix. But they tried numerous things, which is to put a monkey in a red suit up into to have him swing around, and they would just digitize him out. Supposedly the monkey was so embarrassed to be in this red suit he wouldn't come out of his trailer. I think it takes a lot for a monkey to be embarrassed and see,
well, maybe he just wanted to be inside when he off and not outside.
That's not alien, dude.
But no, I did read that Jean-Claude was in an early, not the original design of the Predator, but in the mandible design of the Predator. But because he was so short, he was not imposing enough to go against the team that they had assembled here. So they brought in Kevin Peter Hall instead. Huh. He was probably about 2 feet taller than Jean-Claude.
Yeah, he was like 7-something.
Yeah.
Well, what would we have had with JCVD? I mean, more of a sort of a kung fu karate.
I know more.
I guess he probably would have been a lot more nimble. Interesting.
And you know what? I read something on Wikipedia. I don't know if this is true or not. But
it's online. It has to be true.
The whole genesis of this movie came from a joke that came about after the premiere of Rocky IV, where Rocky takes on Ivan Drago. And whatever it was, the industry joke was that, Rocky's fought everybody. Now he's fought a Russian. The next thing he's going to fight is an alien. So whoever wrote the scripts, read that joke and got the idea for Predator.
Not a bad one.
No, not a bad.
So again, I was watching the commentary, so it was cutting the dialogue out. I will say that McTiernan did this commentary on his own, and it's just laborious. It's just... He just went down some serious rabbit holes after a while.
Is he just talking about like camera setups and stuff like this?
There was a couple shots, and it's, listen, I'm a nerd when it comes to that stuff. So, when you're showing me, he got in trouble for a boom shot where they're actually coming up onto the village, and he has this elevator crane that swings down and goes over the team and then up over into the village. And I guess just the setup for that, just to get this thing propped into the jungles, was pretty time consuming, and he got a lot of heat for that. So, and there were some things that they had to cut out, and there was things that he filmed and didn't tell them because it was budgetary. So they filmed most of this in Mexico, but I guess they were doing a fair amount of redesigning the jungle, like moving sticks and stuff to make it look like it's much thicker than it really was. There's like fake in the jungle. And I guess most of the act, if you look at this, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets significantly gaunt as the movie goes because they were in Mexico and one by one, the entire team got sick. And so he got to the point where he wasn't eating. He wouldn't eat anything. So he was just like emaciated.
And I heard that this is around this time he started going out with Maria Shriver. So I can just picture the hotel room. Maria Shriver, we have no more toilet paper. I can't picture him just calling her by her first name. It's got to be Maria.
It's got to be full on. Yeah. But that whole, once it's one-on-one. Oh, so my question is like, why did they feel the need to bring the girl? I lost that in the whole commentary. What was the whole purpose of bringing
maybe to really bring home the point that if you're unarmed, that the predator is not interested in you?
Well, they were bringing her along for the intelligence, right? They were going to debrief her or whatever.
That's right too. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, there's if you're going to debrief,
she was going to show them where the gorillas were or something. I don't know, something to that effect.
They didn't have like cameras back then. You couldn't just take pictures, reconnaissance. Yeah. So she's got that whole little side story where she's constantly trying to escape. But you're right. You find out pretty quickly this thing will not. If you do not have a weapon, it does not feel that you're threatening,
or there's no sport in killing you if you
killing something that right. So his weapons too, all of the little alien weapons on his gauntlet were vet tools.
Really?
So yeah, he could neuter you if he wanted to.
You know what we haven't talked about? My favorite character in this movie, which is Billy, the tracker.
Billy, that was.
I love his death scene with where he slashes himself across the chest, standing on the log. That king.
Oh yeah, the Native American, the Navajo or Indian. Yes.
And while the music swells, and because he's the last one to face the predator, I think. Before
it was like last line of defense. He was on that. I would
have loved to have seen that fight. They just leave it to your imagination.
Oh, you just hear at this point, everyone's been disemboweled and cut in half, and Carl Weathers. Let's give it up for his severed arm because he was still shooting even when it was like on the ground.
Yeah. And that was a mighty roar at the end when Carl Weathers gets it. Roar! After
right. Yeah. Well, that's it's macho. It's like now I'll never be able to shake Arnold's hand again.
But this movie, we got to bring this up before we get off the topic. This movie has a ton of Arnold quotes.
Oh well, you got to go with it. You're one ugly mother, and I won't even say it.
Go ahead. We can beep it.
Oh, beep! You're one ugly motherfucker.
Mike, do you have another one you'd like to share?
You know what? It's in like the back of my mind, and it's where he puts the knife in one of the guys, and he's like, but I can't remember the quote now.
Stick around.
Stick around. And that was another thing too, which I guess the prop department designed these giant machetes. And it was like they were so cumbersome. So he actually improvised that scene just to get rid of it. But it magically shows up again when he jumps into the waterfall, and he comes up and he's covered in mud. And as the predator's coming out of the water, and you realize that the camouflage is now being destroyed because it can't handle water. And he goes to reach for his machete, and it's gone. But then in the next scene, he's going all Home Alone on his ass, building these elaborate traps, and he has it back. So where'd he find it?
Speaking of his fall down the waterfall, the craziest, longest fall I think I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah, I guess the stunt guy who actually did that waterfall dislocated his knee in that fall.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and it was just from his kicking wildly as he's going down toward the water. Get to the Choppas, obviously.
Oh yes,
that's about as iconic. Most people don't even know it came from this movie.
I know,
because he's reused it so many times.
Yeah.
I would have thought it came from Commando. Between that and I'll Be Back has been bastardized so many times within his movies and everywhere else.
So I think that we're going to afford a lot of popcorn buckets to this movie.
Yes, we are.
Judging where this conversation is going. I'll start with 4. I'll give this a solid 4 popcorn buckets. Maybe even 4 1/4. I might even raise it.
Well, have we ever had a 5?
I don't think we've ever gone
past
higher
4.
Than 4. Yeah.
I thought that 4 was our highest.
No, 5. 5 is the epitome of cinema. Alien, I think I gave 5 popcorn buckets to, actually.
Wow,
that was before we were doing popcorn buckets.
That is true. That is in your head. It was 5 popcorn.
I would give Alien 5 popcorn buckets. Predator, I would do 4 1/4.
I go 4 1/2. If we're going 5 tops.
Really? I'd go 4.
Come on, this movie just every other one of these movies is just chasing after what this one set up. Just blatantly clawing, trying to recapture.
The critics really didn't like this, and I'm reading this review that says the Los Angeles Times proclaimed it arguably one of the emptiest, feeblest, most derivative scripts ever made as a studio movie.
Well, you couldn't be a critic and have yourself taken seriously if you gave a positive review to an Arnold movie back in the 80s,
And this is hard R.
It's great entertainment.
It is. It's What more can be said about this movie?
But it was a hit. 15 million to make, 98 million in box office. So
that's it. That's a hit.
Spoke, yeah.
Hence the 8 other movies they've tried to make since.
Right. And if you want a night and day segue, let's go from Predator to Predator 2.
Do we have to?
Yes. I have one question from Predator, and then we can move on. Are we to assume that the spaceship was still left in the jungle?
Destroyed when he blew himself up, maybe?
Well, you're talking about the original Predator, right?
Yeah.
So the spaceship, only a pod comes down from the spaceship.
Oh, because you see that at the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
That you do see, which I kind of forgot that you actually have that set up, that you do see the little ship. And so it's only
very much like John Carpenter's The Thing. It was almost like the same opening as that movie.
Okay. But regardless, that pod is still in the jungle somewhere.
It could be.
It doesn't matter. It
might be.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, we go from the Mexican jungles to the concrete jungles in Predator 2.
Which was released in 1990 but takes place in 1997.
Right, so it's like 10 years after the first movie. And Arnold said, no thanks. He did not like the director, nor did he like the script.
Nor did he like the money they were offering him.
So the interesting thing is that it was written for him to come back. And so basically everything that Keyes does was supposed to be Dutch's character. I'm sure they recrafted it. Keyes was played by a pre-crazy Gary Busey.
Was he ever pre-crazy? Can we ever?
I don't. He seemed to have his crap together in this one.
He did.
This was right after his motorcycle accident.
Yeah, and this movie served as a reunion for a number of previous movies. We have Gary Busey and Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon, right? We've got
that's right. Oh, yeah.
Maria Conchita Alonso and Bill Paxton from Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah. And Bill Paxton basically his character was Lambert, which is an alien character, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and he's basically just playing Shane Black's character from the first movie.
Yeah, he is.
Off-color jokes the whole way.
And he's still playing, what was his character's name in Aliens? Hicks.
Yeah. Well, you could even go, the slimy guy in True Lies, the character where he was like,
right.
He didn't fall too far away from those.
So this movie, the opening of Predator 2 is just ridiculous. Like the gang war that's going on, like on the streets. It's like, and the cops are treating this like it's just like a regular Monday,
Yeah, no, this is like a true, back in the day, what people thought New York really, but it wasn't New York, it was L.A.
Los Angeles, right?
L.A.
And then after this incredibly violent firefight, in the middle of this, Danny Glover comes roaring through, and is this his car that he's so
who knows, it gets shot to hell. He's basically just playing Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, he is.
Which didn't McTiernan direct? McTiernan did not come back. He was demanding $2 million, and they said we're not. I
have to interrupt here. He was not Hicks. He was Hudson.
Oh, Hudson. Hicks was he survived. Hicks was Reese.
Hicks was. Oh
man.
Yeah, we're unprepared for this. We apologize.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bring I couldn't let it lie.
Aliens was not our given movie this week, okay? We did not research Aliens.
But you're right, Jim. It was very Lethal Weapon, RoboCop, cartoon violence over the top.
And especially these gang members.
Oh,
Scorpio.
Stereotype, which is funny because
Scorpio is ready.
Scorpions or Scorpios?
El Scorpio, I think. He takes a fistful of coke, puts it in his face, inhales.
Let's go, man. Let's go. But you can't get any more 90s than the inclusion of Morton Downey Jr.
Oh, that was terrible. Terrible.
Right? The minute you saw him, you were like, holy flashbacks. Morton Downey Jr.
Why put this guy in a movie, any movie?
And he's just playing himself. He's playing this. What is it? Hardcore was like his,
like hardcore, it's like a hard copy kind of rip-off show.
Right. Yeah. And this was probably right in his heyday when he was, and for anybody who doesn't know Morton Downey Jr., he was really kind of pre Jerry Springer, but to the nth degree. I mean, this guy was just nasty.
He
And
used to often, and his talk show was like WWF. Like it was never, you never knew if it was real or
there was
not.
an episode where he actually had somebody hit him over the head with the chair.
Yeah.
And I think
like
somebody
had a broken nose for weeks after that. Like
and then somebody carved a swastika in his forehead.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. This show is completely ridiculous.
Which Tarantino then stole for Inglourious Bastards, but.
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, Jeff, you're good. You're on this week.
Yeah, but I thought it was fun because again, the first one, you think it's a military movie and it becomes something else, and you know what you're getting into at this point, but it is kind of like this police drama, and then it becomes something else because pretty quickly you see that the Predator is now, is he flying around in his ship because you're seeing the entire city through his heat vision. And then next thing you know, he's like, they've got the bad guys cornered in this facility and he just takes them out. So now the cops show up and they're all slaughtered, just killed. But Harrigan sees one of them take out the Scorpio, throw him off the side there.
I would have let him rip. He's taking out the Jamaican drug dealers,
right?
The Colombian drug dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, let him go.
Deputize him. Yeah, give that guy a badge and put him on the force. So speaking of the force, Kent McCord, he plays Captain Pilgrim. And that guy, when I saw him, I'm like, I know that. He plays Officer Jim Reed on Adam 12. Have anybody ever see Adam 12? I'm really dating myself now.
No.
Yes.
But he played this character on Dragnet, Emergency, and Adam 12. So that was the same character he played in like 3 different TV shows.
One Adam 12. Yeah, he was also on Galactica 1980, and he was a substantial character in Farscape. So Kent McCord, still making money there.
So should we even go over the plot of Predator 2? Because I know a lot of people.
So an alien's in the city, not the jungle, killing people.
Right. What was the plot?
And then the government is now involved, and which is represented by Gary Busey. Were they trying to kill it? They were.
No, that was straight up like alien ripoff. They wanted to capture it.
Yeah, they wanted the technology.
Yeah. I mean, right out of the Alien playbook. We need to capture this thing. That's why they had those suits that they figured out. Somehow they figured out that it was using heat sensors. So if they just drew it to the slaughterhouse where it was cold,
and then they dropped dust on it or something, so they'd be able to see it. It was like they had like fire extinguishers, or for lack of a better term, to like cool off the area. But even that whole scene in the slaughterhouse where they're watching the computer monitors, and he's right behind you. Straight up right out of Aliens. And then there was a line in there, I think maybe Danny Glover had it, where he says at some point, you admire it.
Yeah, multiple Alien references in this. And there's F-bombs and calls it face at one point, which is pretty funny, but it's like... It's like, wow, man.
Yeah. This movie is so violent. In fact, it was originally given an NC-17, and they had to make some cuts to give it an R rating. Yeah. And it is very bloody. It is just gratuitous violence. Was
because we watch these back to back, was anybody upset with the fact that in the first movie, whenever you cut to the Predator's point of view, and you heard dialogue from the actors, it was high-pitched gibberish, and yet in this one, it was all like this deep timbre, oh, we need to fight this thing. Like, it was like, did he have like a modulator that he could change that? Because, I don't know.
But I noticed he did have the same viewpoint from the helmet, where whenever somebody would talk, you would see on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah.
The little picture. Yeah. So at least they tried to.
Yeah, there was definitely some carryover in the graphics department and whatever.
And perhaps that might be the only selling point of this movie, is that they tried to be consistent. The Silvestri theme is prevalent throughout. Danny Glover, I think, deserves the merit badge for giving it his best college try here to be the action hero. And he's pretty good in the movie. He's not terrible.
Yeah, he's definitely not action quality, I guess. You're right. He carries the role. He does it. He pulls it off.
Most likely he got it because of Lethal Weapon.
So this movie was only greenlit after the Dark Horse comic book, Predator comic book series became popular. And then the whole subway sequence was ripped directly from the comic books. Yeah, that's cool. Well, we'll just take that.
Yeah, and that subway sequence, by the way, the most unconvincing gang members there.
Every single person on the train had a weapon. So now the Predator can just kill them all, because we've already established that he does.
And the 40-ish-year-old gang members.
I mean, they were dressed like they came out of the Cosby Show.
Yeah. It was terrible.
But the Predator does. Well, that was the age. Yeah. The Predator did have, he had some morals, because he wouldn't kill people he didn't kill the kid. Even though he had a weapon, it was a fake weapon in the graveyard scene. And he wouldn't kill the girl because she was pregnant.
But he got the old lady because she had a gun.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
That's ageism right there.
It is. But let's get off this movie.
No. One more thing, because what's his name at one point? He says, whoa, we're in the train. He's like, whoa, we don't need any rush hour Rambos. And I'm like, that's a movie I'd see. Rambo just trying to get to work. He's stuck in the train, a la that Michael Douglas Falling Down, where just as the day progresses, it just gets like he just loses his freaking mind. And by the end, Rambo's just killing everybody.
Yeah, instead of Rambo First Blood, it would be Rambo Open Seat, or, you know.
So how come when he chopped off its arm, the bomb didn't go off?
Yeah, I didn't know.
It made no sense. No. Right? The Predator now is missing an arm. He's running around in an old lady's bathroom, and he's using sheetrock to seal his wound. I guess you got to improvise. You got to go with what you got. I don't know. The trophy room at the end, that was supposed to be in the first movie, by the way. They couldn't do it budget-wise.
What, to have the alien skull? And
the whole end sequence fight with Dutch was supposed to take place in the ship. And
really?
Budgetary reasons, they just couldn't pull it off. So,
but he didn't have a ship. He only had a...
Well, right. I don't, but from what I understand, that spaceship scene, like, literally showed up an hour before they cut the movie and released it.
Oh.
It was just a last second little addition. The only other thing I will say, which is exact same ending, explosion, you got Danny Glover flying right in the camera, a la Dutch. And the only other thing, all the extra Predators were played by LA Lakers because Glover was a big, huge fan.
Really?
Yeah. So imagine if they came out in the basketball courts dressed like that.
Win every game.
Pretty cool, yeah.
I might start watching basketball.
It apparently ends with the character Harrigan becoming an honorary Predator.
Oh yeah, because then you find out he hands him that flintlock gun from like 1715, and you realize that they've been coming here for a very long time.
Or that they've been here since 1715, right?
I got the impression that they just come. This is like a hunting preserve. For like those
and they
family,
just come every once,
those dad son weekends where you get away. Let's go do some manly stuff, son.
Like a bar mitzvah kind of a thing.
There you go. Yeah, let's go out and kill some humans.
I mean, I sort of looked at it like they built the city over top of the ship.
Well, that's the other thing too, which is right. That ship was like buried underground.
It was,
so did we just that
maybe like a War of the Worlds thing where they've always been here.
Yeah, right. We're on their planet.
Let's do our popcorn buckets. Do we want to afford any popcorn buckets?
We have to, at least. Yeah. I mean, because both of these movies are referenced in The Predator. Right. So they did happen. They did acknowledge that.
Yeah. Well, this movie for me verges a couple of times on being so bad it's good, especially with the El Scorpio part at the beginning. Right. But the rest of it just, as it gets into the plot, this is just so bad, so slow moving and so just stupid. I would go maybe 2 popcorn buckets.
That's a hit.
That's generous. I'm going to go 1.
Wow. I liked it better than both of you. I'm going to add your both together and go 3.
3?
I am going to go 3.
I am outraged, sir.
You are fired from the podcast.
Yeah. Listen, isn't that the whole point of this? I enjoyed watching it. It's not a great movie, but it is such a time capsule of that 90s and what we thought 97 was going to look like. And then the inclusion of Morton Downey Jr. is just off the charts because it's like, who the hell would even remember who that guy is?
As we just discussed, Danny Glover is kind of made an honorary Predator. They're like, good job. You've killed one of our own. So here's a gun.
We give you, props. We respect you. We're still going to take your skull and spinal cord.
But that's the thing is they do not.
No.
According to this new movie, all the best warriors, they're gathering DNA from alien species, from us, of all the best warriors that, that the universe can offer to build super predators. So you would think that they would want to take Danny Glover's spine and skull just for that purpose.
He bested him, yeah.
Yeah, he did, but didn't happen. So big plot hole there for me going into The Predator. So there we go. I think we can put this one to bed.
Yes.
With a clean conscience? Yes?
Please, yes.
Let's do it.
Good.
All right, so thanks for listening again, and see you next week.
Yes, thank you, everyone who tunes in every week. Now get to the chopper. Oh, goodbye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand.